Hello, and welcome to my first impressions and first thoughts on the Civilization 6 February 2021 update. So we're just going to go back to the beginning of the video. I want to have a nice image at the start here, and this gentleman with what looks to be a giant rawhide bone appears to have given me the best starting image in my mind. But anyway, let's go back to the beginning of this video and see what this update's all about.
Trample the weak, hurdle the dead, and crush the gods of those that stand against you, because this is the Barbarian update video.
Actually, this is the developer video for the free February game update in Sid Meier's Civilization 6.
Sid Meier's Civilization. Nonsense! I shall feast upon your bones!
You know, it's high time something more was done with barbs, so I'm looking forward to this.
He does this every day.
This video is going to discuss the new Barbarian Clans game mode, the leader selection pool, and some of the balance changes and AI tweaks that will be coming to you for free later this month.
So fill a tankard with the blood of your enemies, mount up on your fastest horse, and hold on tight, because the barbarians are getting their revenge. And
I thought, this was a barbarian update, not Mongolia, but go ahead.
this time, they're bringing war cards.
Three of the most
So now Sumer is a barbarian? I don't think that's happening.
exciting things about the new Barbarian Clans game mode are that it's awesome, obviously, it's free, and everybody gets it. Even if you only have the base game and none of the expansions or DLCs, or if you have it all, you will have access to this new optional game mode that offers a complete reimagining of Civilization 6 Barbarian.
This is really nice. That this is just going to be something for the base game, for all the alternate modes that come in the new Frontier Pass, which are wonderful and enjoyable, that they're creating a mode that you can just have as part of the base game. And that's a really good thing. This sounds like something that they could easily have just rolled in to the new Frontier Pass or standalone DLC, since the new Frontier Pass tends to just incorporate a bunch of the standalone DLCs and just lock it behind a paywall of DLC. But they chose not to, and I applaud them for that.
The Barbarian Clans mode was directly inspired by some of the suggestions our scouts found among the thorny grasses of your social media posts. A lot of you have been wanting to see some changes to the standard kill or be killed interactions with barbarians in Civ 6. We agree there was a lot of untapped potential there. This mode introduces 6 barbarian clans, allows clans to convert into city-states, and gives you all new ways to interact with them. For starters, different clans.
I really like this whole idea of clans into city-states. It shows that when the game starts, there's a bunch of civilizations that decided to settle down, but some that weren't quite there yet. So it gives a bit of difference between them, and the fact that they then become city-states is a very cool option and would give you a reason to actually keep a barb camp around.
Clans can be found living on or near different map conditions. You'll find the camps of the Hills clan near hills, and the Rover clan near horses resources.
Near horses resources. Okay. Also, that horses resources tend to spawn in flatland and rivers tend to be around flatland, so okay. Although rivers also tend to run through hills and mountains too, so we'll see. But yeah, that's very cool that the clans are going to be kind of different on what they do, based on where they're located.
To make combat with barbarians even more interesting, clans can also claim and build unique units from major civilizations that are not present in that game. Clans.
That could be interesting. So suddenly you're going to be fighting, as they were showing there, Eagle Warriors, but there could be all sorts of things. I guess that's where the war cards are coming from. Sumeria is not in the game. I guess you might just start putting Sumeria in all your games just so you don't get war cards against you from barbarians. Because those in the ancient era can be deadly.
accumulate progress every turn toward conversion into a city-state, because sometimes even barbarians want to enjoy the creature comforts of civilization. Depending on how you interact with clans you encounter, you can either add or subtract to their progress towards a life of leisure.
Dispersing a clan will wipe it off the face of the map, as you're used to. However, choosing to
Okay, so you can still get rid of them. Very good.
raid a clan will not destroy it.
So
Instead, you'll learn.
let me go back there to the raid
However,
button.
choosing to raid a clan.
So you get 33 gold, so that's how you get the gold. And so instead of, when you clear a barbarian camp, you get the gold. So now you either have to choose between getting rid of it or raiding it. Lose 10 points towards city-state conversion, so they go back some. And can only be raided once every 10 turns, so it's as a gold looking thing. I wonder if you could stay in it after you raid it to keep them from respawning.
Clan will not destroy it. Instead, you'll earn some gold and knock down some of that clan's progress towards city-state conversion. You can stop a clan from attacking your cities by paying a modest.
Okay, so there we go. Bribing them off so they won't attack you, and then they develop a bit more. And that's very good. Then also, it looks like there's a, you can recruit. So it's kind of like a little bit of the city-state levy. And I really like this idea. To attack another civilization. Although that does cause them to become less towards city-state conversion. But yeah, that kind of go target someone else. That's a neat idea.
Protection fee in the form of a bribe. You can also hire a clan and add its strongest unit to your army. Exchanging coin in these civilized encounters will boost the clan's progress towards conversion. Or spend your gold to incite them and pay them to attack someone else, while you deny all culpability. Lest you start getting too comfortable around your barbarous allies and they abduct one of your civilian units, you also have the option to pay a ransom in order to get that unit back if a combat rescue isn't in the cards.
That's really cool. So if you lose a settler, you don't have to go chasing it. You can just be like, all right, I'm going to pay gold for it and get it back. Could be expensive, but could be critical.
Overall, the Barbarian Clans mode will offer even more strategic possibilities as you make your way through the game. You can still treat barbarians like the empty-headed gold piñatas you're used to, or you can try a more nuanced approach. Learn to live together, and maybe, eventually, become their suzerain.
The free?
Okay.
And maybe, eventually,
Hold on. Something I want to check
you can
on here.
still treat barbarians like the empty-headed gold piñatas you're used to, or you can try a more nuanced approach.
Okay, so there's
Learn to
Valletta.
live together, and
So, from what it appears, that when they transformed, you already had 2 envoys with them. And that was something critical. If you're paying them all this gold, I was hoping that you build up envoy credit with them because, you had a good relationship with them in the past. So I like I'm liking the idea if how much gold and bribes and all you spend on them actually, invest themselves into envoys if the barbarian camp becomes a city-state. So that could be a cool investment opportunity.
and maybe, eventually, become their suzerain.
The free February game update also introduces another new feature that we've seen 1 or 2 requests for. Ever since we launched the Natural Wonder Picker and then the City-State Picker, there's been a lot of conversation about a similar picker, but for opposing civilizations. We have answered your calls and are proud to introduce the Leader Selection Pool. That's right, you will now be able to customize the pool of leaders that can be used in a game. If you find Trajan to be too big of a bully, you can eliminate him from your selection pool, and he will be guaranteed not to appear in your game. Similarly, if there's a leader you've never played against and want to see how you measure up, you can make sure they're one of the only leaders available, guaranteeing them a spot on your map.
That could be really cool. That you can, if you wanted to make a kind of semi-random gameplay experience, that's just another nice quality of life feature. It could also be if you want to do like a more chill culture game and you're like, I want random civs, but I don't want to have to deal with Russia or some some other, ridiculous culture civ, like Greece, you can just take those out. That's a nice quality of life improvement.
The leader selection pool can even be used in multiplayer mode to restrict the leaders other players can choose.
Also included in the free February game update are some additional tweaks to the AI. For inspiration here, we not only looked to your comments on social media, but also looked up into the sky. The bulk of our AI changes involve air units and air combat. AI opponents will now be much more likely to utilize anti-air defenses, as well as much more likely to launch airstrikes of their own. This should add another level of late-game challenge to anyone who's looking for it and prevent the AI from being completely bombarded.
Yeah, that is something that's needed, because by the time you got to endgame and you got bombers, there was just no reason to get fighters, really. You just used bombers because it was about sieging enemy units. If this actually makes fighters like something you need to keep around to run air interception, that would be really cool.
Also made a few balance changes. While some of these affect only Rise and Fall or Gathering Storm expansion content, most of the changes are for all rule sets. For example, we've shifted around some policy slots available to certain governments to more accurately reflect the way those governments would run in reality.
Okay, that's interesting. So they've shifted around what policy cards are where. That can be big changes. I'm hoping that gives another diplomatic policy slot to monarchy, as monarchy really is a government you'd like to be in if you're going for a diplomatic victory, but it's just so military heavy that it presents a problem.
And to better align with playstyles you might anticipate when you select them. We've also rebalanced some natural wonders and made some text clarifications and natural wonder descriptions. As an example, we've added a campus adjacency bonus to the Great Barrier Reef.
Good,
as a nod to the
overdue.
invaluable marine biology research performed there in real life. Another wonder whose changes some of you might be interested in? The Cliffs of Dover. The cliffs will now provide 3 gold, 3 culture, and 2 food.
Alright. This actually now makes the Cliffs of Dover, good. Before, when it was, if you worked those tiles, you were having to give up food, so you couldn't work them early without great cost. So now you can actually work them early. They'll give good adjacency to a holy site. They'll be good as part of a national park. But the main thing is that 2 food, because each citizen costs 2 food to maintain. So your capital will always have 2 food, or your city center will always have at least 2 food in it. So it maintains that first citizen by itself at size 1. That's how it does it. It just ensures that it has 2 food. However, now that you can work those tiles, possibly early, you're giving up some early production, but you're gaining a lot of culture, which could get you to, the policy cards faster, and you're getting a bunch of gold, so you might be able to purchase something faster. Now that becomes a more interesting trade-off, and especially if it's a, second or third citizen work slot, that could become a really interesting choice. So I'm liking how this has changed it. 2 food is not a lot, but it is enough to make that wonder now actually, good. Or it's probably still is not the best wonder there, but it's no longer just a detrimental thing, because remember, you can't improve those tiles, you can't do anything else with them, but now at least they become reasonable to work tiles, like super theater square slots.
Buy 3 gold, 3 culture, and 2 food.
One more word about the Cliffs of Dover, and I will cut out your tongue with my dullest blade.
The developers may have gotten a lot of guff about the Cliffs of Dover. I think that is their response of, we fixed it, we made it better, be happy, community. I think they hit the mark with this one.
So there it is, folks, all the important beats from our free February game update, headlined by the optional new game mode Barbarian Clans and the leader selection pool to customize the civs that can appear in your game. Expect the update on February 26th, and don't forget to tune back in when we hit April to learn about the final free game update of the season.
Civ fans, you are the best fans in gaming. Thank you all for watching, and we hope you enjoy taking one more turn, or depending on how many barbarian clans you intend to raid,
One more burn.
Now, the other interesting thing that was said near the end of there is the end of this season. When they were talking about the last update in April, which suggests that another year of development may be in the works. Now, this is just pure speculation on my part. If they're saying, at the end of the season, they might just do one season of Civilization 6 DLC and be done. After all, there's only so much you can do before you start reconsidering how to reconfigure things. Because at some point you have to declare yourself done, or you're just building on top so many pieces that, you start risk overload and possibly tumbling down and combinations of systems that are inelegant. There may be another season of Civilization 6 that is good. And considering that they've planned this one out decently well, I'm willing to give the developers here the benefit of the doubt if they decide to go for a second season. But it could also make sense if they decide to move on to the next Civilization entry. But either way, I want to say thank you very much for joining me on my first look at the new Civilization 6 February 2021 update, and be seeing you.